Hundreds of organizations, including a nuclear weapons agency, hit with data breaches due to SharePoint patch flaw. Mitel warns of critical MyVoice MX1 authentication bypass flaw. Another popular NPM package poisoned with malware after phishing attack. And Clorox sues former IT service provider for $380 million following a 2023 scattered spider cyber attack. This is Cybersecurity Today, and I'm your host, David Shipley, sitting in for Jim Love. A quick programming note. Jim is still working with our podcasting infrastructure provider to figure out why some services like smart speakers may not be getting our latest episodes. Hopefully, we'll have it resolved soon. I'm helping out today, and we'll be back for Monday's episode. A critical vulnerability in Microsoft's legacy SharePoint server software has led to widespread cyber attacks and data breaches, now escalating to include ransomware deployment, according to an update from Microsoft. The flaw, which initially stemmed from a botched patch for an O-Day disclosed at the Pwn2Own competition in May, has since been exploited by multiple threat actors. Those threat actors include China-linked group Storm 2603, and Microsoft says this actor is also now deploying ransomware payloads, marking a significant shift from traditional cyber espionage towards more disruptive operations. Netherlands-based iSecurity reports at least 400 organizations are known to have been compromised. That's quadruple the figure first reported early this week when the initial breaches became apparent. iSecurity believes the true number is even higher than that. Victims include high-profile U.S. federal agencies. The National Institutes of Health confirmed one server was breached, while others were isolated as a precaution. NextGov and Politico reported that the Department of Homeland Security and at least a dozen other agencies may have also been hit. The Department of Energy also acknowledged an earlier compromise involving the National Nuclear Security Administration. This SharePoint vulnerability specifically affects self-managed on-premise SharePoint servers, many of which are outdated and still exposed to the internet. Experts warn these systems are rarely patched or monitored. Jake Williams of Hunter Strategy said, quote, "If you're exposing a SharePoint server to the internet, I would emphasize that you also have to budget for incident response because that server will eventually get popped." Microsoft is urging customers to upgrade or decommission unsupported servers and to apply the latest fixes to supported versions, including 2016 and 2019 versions of SharePoint Server. Mitel Networks has issued urgent patches for a critical authentication bypass vulnerability affecting its MyVoice MX1 enterprise communications platform, warning that attackers can exploit the flaw to gain administrative access without authentication. The flaw, which currently lacks a CVE identifier, stems from an improper access control issue within the MyVoice MX1 provisioning manager. Mitel says the attackers could exploit the bug in low-complexity attacks, no user interaction required, to seize control of unpatched systems. MyVoice MX1 is a SIP-based enterprise communications platform used in large-scale deployments across sectors like education, healthcare, government, and financial services. It supports hundreds of thousands of users and is widely deployed in private networks. Systems running version 7.3, 7.3.0.0.50 through 7.1 SP1, 7.8.1.0.14 are affected. Mitel has released fixes in version 7.8, so MXO 15711_78SP0 and 7.8 SP1 MXO 1571178 SP1. Customers on impacted versions must request patches via authorized service providers, and the company strongly advises against exposing MX1 services to the internet, recommending deployments within trusted internal networks with access to the provisioning manager strictly controlled. In addition to this news, Mitel also disclosed a high-severity SQL injection vulnerability CVE 2025-52914, in its MyCollab platform that could also allow attackers to execute arbitrary SQL commands on vulnerable devices. While neither flaw is known to be exploited in the wild yet, Mitel products have drawn attention from attackers before. In January, the U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Agency flagged a MyCollab path traversal vulnerability, CVE 2024-55550, actively used in attacks. That followed the patching of an arbitrary file read zero day, CVE 2024-41713, disclosed by Watchtower Labs. Now, Mitel's platform is used by over 60,000 organizations and 75 million users globally. With a rising trend of attackers targeting collaboration and communications tools, security teams and IT teams are urged to patch immediately and to make sure that access to these services is restricted from external access. Scattered Spiders fallout is starting to hit the 9 figures, with a scathing new lawsuit upping the stakes for IT service providers offering help desk services to companies. According to a lawsuit filed by consumer goods giant Clorox, its then IT service provider, Cognizant, reset a corporate user's password and multi-factor authentication credentials without verifying the caller's identity. A move Clorox claims directly enabled a massive August 2023 breach allegedly carried out by Scattered Spider. The attackers reportedly used the same tactic not just once, but twice, even gaining access to a Clorox IT security employee's account, which helped them move deeper into the network. The result? Clorox's operations were crippled. Manufacturing shut down. Shelves empty. They're now seeking $49 million in direct damages and up to $380 million in total compensation. The lawsuit alleges that on August 11, 2023, recordings showed that a cybercriminal called Cognizant's service desk multiple times, pretending to be a Clorox representative and requesting a password and multi-factor authentication reset. Quote, "At no point during any of the calls did the agent verify the caller was in fact employee number 1. At no point did the agent follow Clorox's credential support procedures, either the pre-2023 procedure or the January 2023 update, before changing the password for the cybercriminal. The agent further reset employee 1's MFA credentials multiple times without any identity verification at all. And at no point did the agent send the required emails to the employee or the employee's manager to alert them of the password reset," Clorox claims in its complaint. Cognizant issued a scathing response to Bleeping Computer to the lawsuit on Thursday. Quote, "It is shocking that a corporation the size of Clorox had such an inept internal cybersecurity system to mitigate this attack. Clorox has tried to blame us for these failures, but the reality is that Clorox hired Cognizant for a narrow scope of help desk services, which Cognizant reasonably performed. Cognizant did not manage cybersecurity for Clorox," end quote. None of these claims have been proven in court. A few things to note. This lawsuit, alongside the ongoing Delta Airlines versus CrowdStrike lawsuit, will have massive impacts on IT service and solution provider risk. Stay tuned. Secondly, help desk processes have to be hardened. If your frontline support staff aren't properly educated and trained, or worse, if they ignore basic verification steps, you are one call away from chaos. The lesson for organizations here is simple. Your help desk is your front line. Harden it, train it, audit it. And don't assume third-party providers are following your procedures unless you verify regularly. You don't need to spend millions of dollars to fix this, and you don't need a fancy new vendor silver bullet AI-powered blinky box solution. But ignoring this could cost you hundreds of millions of dollars. Yet another day, yet another breach tied to the successful phishing attack on a popular maintainer for NPM packages. On July 19, 2025, the popular NPM package which is downloaded more than 2.8 million times a week, was also found compromised. Malicious code was slipped into versions 3.3.1 through 5.0.0 after a phishing campaign hijacked the maintainer's credentials. The attackers then published malware-laced updates and went unnoticed for nearly 6 hours. This wasn't an isolated hit. Other widely used packages like ESLint Config Prettier, ESLint Plugin Prettier, and SyncKit were also affected, all tied to the same phishing domain, npnjs.com. We reported on Monday on the attack on ESLint. That particular plugin is downloaded more than 3 million times weekly. This new malware in acts as a backdoor. It opens a WebSocket connection, exfiltrates environment data, and allows attackers to execute JavaScript remotely, effectively turning dev machines into puppet endpoints. In other packages, researchers found a Windows-based info stealer dubbed Scavenger, capable of extracting browser-stored credentials while using techniques to dodge extraction. And watch out, the extraction of developer or IT admin credentials. This is what burned popular password manager LastPass years ago. Be careful. If this feels familiar, it should. Supply chain attacks on open source projects are a standard and growing threat vector. Now, here's what developers and teams should be thinking about right now. Stop auto updates for any of the affected packages. Revert to known safe versions that were before July 18th, 2025. Rotating passwords and revoking compromised tokens. Lock dependencies with lock files, and audit your environment. Assume compromise if you pulled the affected versions. And for maintainers, enable MFA, monitor your packages, and don't sleep on phishing protection. Now, one thing I want to say, do what the maintainer behind and ESLint has done. When a mistake happens, tell people about it as soon as possible. Don't hide it. As always, stay skeptical and stay patched. And if you're running SharePoint on-prem unpatched, may the force be with you. We're always interested in your opinion, and you can contact us at editorial@technewsday.ca or leave a comment under the YouTube video. As well, a small ask. Help us spread the word about the show. Give us a like or subscribe, a rating on your popular podcast platform, or leave a review. If you like the show, please tell others. We'd love to grow our audience even more, and we need your help. I've been your host, David Shipley. I'll be back on Monday to kick off the week, and Jim Love will be back on Wednesday. Thanks for listening.